an app. After creating my app, I'm going to go to my settings, register it here. Okay, task. Okay. After doing that, guys, see now so far we have learned about list of dictionaries, correct? Storing our data in the form of list of dictionaries. Okay, but today what we are going to do is we are going to see these models. Okay, basically we know that models are responsible for interacting with database. Just keep quiet, please. Okay. Models are we have seen that models are responsible to interact with the database, but how do we really make them interact with the database? That's the question. So what I'm going to do is, see, first we have to go to our models.py file. Okay. Now here we are going to write some uh, uh, some program. Okay. Some Python program we are going to write. Basically, what Python program we are going to write is classes. Okay. We are going to write classes. I hope all of you know how to write a class in in Python. Yes. Do all of you know how to write a class in Python? I'm not asking about writing classes, how to create classes in Python. Yes or no? Answer. Answer me, guys, whether you guys know how to write a class in Python or not. Have you learned object oriented programming or not? Yes. Okay. So basically, writing models is nothing but writing a class. Okay. Creating models or writing a model is basically nothing but writing a class. Okay. How do we write a class? So basically, I will say class and then I'll write the name of the class. We are going to say my task. Okay. And we know that this particular class is going to get converted into a database table. Yes or no? This class is going to get converted into database table. So basically, we know that whenever we are working with Django, we need not know the syntax of SQL or anything about SQL. Okay, it's okay if we don't know anything about SQL because at the end we are just going. Okay, and this concept is called as ORM. Okay, basically conversion of your Python code into SQL, okay, is called as ORM. Okay, don't worry much about these terms and all, you just learn. Now I defined one class called as my task. Basically this is going to be a child class of the main base class, the base model class, which is here, models.model. Okay, basically this models is a module. Okay, inside which we have one class called as model. Okay, and we are inheriting from that model class. Okay, after that we need to define some fields, right? We have to create some fields. Those fields we are going to create. Okay, let's say for this my task, okay, for this my task table we are going to create some fields like the name of the task, okay, and the description of the task. Okay, These two fields we are going to create, like the name of the task and the description of the task. Now, when it comes to the name, obviously, you guys must be knowing that whenever we used to do SQL, in that SQL, we had some syntax, like we used to create a field name and we used to write the data type for that, correct? Kind of like a data type only, char, var char 2, int, integer, and all those things we used to write. Similar to that, here also we have to specify like what type of data this particular field should accept. Okay, what type of data this name is going to accept. Now we have several fields. Okay, the first field and this all these fields are present inside this models module. Okay, it is present inside this module called as models. How we are going to do that? We will say models dot care field. Okay, and basically this care field is what? Care field is a class, correct? Just like our integer, float, boolean, this bool, complex, list, str, dictionary, all these things are a class, correct? These classes define what? Define some data type. Similar to that, we are going to create an instance of this class. It is kind of creating instance of this class. Okay, so name will accept what type of data? Some character type of data, correct? Some characters it will accept. And whenever we implement character field, at that time we need to specify the maximum length. Okay, we need to specify the maximum length of character it can take. Okay, now here I will say maximum length as, let's say, 50. Okay, 50. Now similar to that we have description. Okay, we have description here. I will say models dot care field, correct? I can do that, care field, and I can give maximum length as, let's say, for description I give 200. Okay, but the thing with description is that we don't really know like how big a description can be. Okay, how big a person can put the description about that particular task. So at that time what we are going to do is we are going to make use of text field. Text field. Okay, here text field we are going to use. Now what will happen when we use text field is user can enter as many character as he wants, and that much of the size will be considered. Okay, it's kind of dynamic size. Okay, that's it. We are going to see up till here only. Okay, and what about id? We also need id, right? Now actually we don't need. Primary key is what it is. Not we do not have to explicitly create this id, but instead Django will do that name and description. Okay, and we are also going to write one magic method. Okay, this magic method is basically useful when we do some CRUD operations and when we want to print our objects. What are objects? What are objects? Database table. What are these objects? Yes. Objects means each record, each data, or each entire row can be considered as an object. Correct? Now, here when we want to print our objects, we need to just override this magic method. Okay, here we are nothing, we are doing just simple thing. We will just say self dot name. Okay, you can do anything, but here we are just going to print the name. Okay, self dot name will do. Fine. And after creating your models, okay, after creating your models, what do we do? What is that important, like a very very important step, so that we have to convert this entire table into, sorry, this entire class into a database table. We have to do migrations. What is the first command to do migration? Python manage.py. What is it? What's the first command? Yes, make migrations. Make migrations. It's a plural, okay? Make migrations. After that, see, the migrations has been found and it has been converted into an SQL query. Now what will happen? Now if I want to save or if I want to reflect all these changes into my database, what command do I pass? Migrate. Correct. We are going to say migrate. Okay. It's better. See, we will say migrate. Now as I type migrate, it is going to run all these commands into our database. It will execute all these things. Okay. Understood up till here? It's okay.